Hello and welcome everyone to our fourth episode in the workshop series for East Denver. I am Laksh Mittal here, your host for the day, joining in from India, and we have an amazing product coming in, which has somewhere brought me to a very energetic phase because this is something which I actually love to do. Okay, this is something which I have been wanting to do for a while, and it actually caters to an audience, a space which is very close to me. Okay, uh, to not create much hype about it, and just to bring that product back in on screen with their founder. Okay, Shubham here. We have Shubham from Aureal. Okay, and with that, Shubham, why don't we start with telling us how are you doing? Okay, how have you been? And it's great to connect back with you again in recent days.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm glad to be here.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So how has work been, Shubham, for you?
Yeah, the work is always topsy-turvy, right? I mean, we entrepreneurs, we just don't get to make the sense of time. So when are we sleeping?
Right,
When are we waking up? There is no schedule. It's just that we have to deliver this thing. We have to give the offering to the customers, and
right.
there is something incredible that we're working on, and we cannot wait to actually have this in the market as soon as possible. So
Definitely.
yeah.
So let's do this show. Why don't you tell me why did you join the Web3 space? What made you join the Web3 space? Okay, and what is that one thing that has made you stuck around, like that has kept you in the industry?
Yeah, so back in 2016, 2017, basically, this Web3 space was actually booming in terms of crypto. I mean,
Okay,
Bitcoin actually reached up to $20,000 on 21st or 20th of December 2017.
okay,
And I'm like, okay, what's happening right now? And then I later got to know. I realized I read the white paper of Bitcoin, and I thought, okay, see, this is something which I cannot really comprehend because yeah, I'm from an engineering background, and you need to have a basic understanding of finance for that.
right.
But fast forward in 2018, I started working with this company called Cryptex Financial. I was handling marketing for them, and I realized when we actually took up a project where we were going to create the national currency for Democratic Republic of Congo. The currency was known as Zimbu, and it was based upon a smart city project that we were going to have on our own blockchain. The interesting thing is that I realized that in order for any citizen of Congo to exchange money from whatever the currency they have into US dollar, it takes them 6 months.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, and then I researched a little bit more, and I saw, okay, people are actually, it wasn't known as Web3 back then. It was just cryptocurrency and blockchain.
yeah, yeah,
Yes Bank was using Tether. Kotak Mahindra was using Tether, and interestingly, the cross-border transactions that these guys were doing were not costing them anything, uh,
right.
but they were charging us safety fees. And then, meanwhile, I was working on this. Then I saw this video of Cold Fusion, who controls our money.
Okay,
And the thing is, when I realized, I read this book called The Creature of Jekyll Island,
okay,
and then I actually got to know, like, oh my god, like more than 99% of the people in this world have their lives dedicated to just earning money, earning money, earning money, and nobody actually asks this question: what money actually is and who controls it.
okay.
So when I research about it, I'm like, okay, dude, this is like the biggest scam of the century. And if I just get into this, if I'm just being that corporate slave which is only inclined towards money, then my life is not going to have any significance. So
Correct.
while I was researching about all of these things, I mean, majority of the things that I was getting from was from the videos of from YouTube, or I was listening to podcasts, and I was understanding perspectives which different people had, and I was getting inspired by them. And then I later got to know that, okay, while scrolling Reddit, I saw that these podcasters, there were like threads and threads about the monetization of podcast. I mean, these guys are relying on ads and sponsorships, and I realized that these guys have like a millions of streams on their podcast, and the only problem is that they're not even getting paid a single penny from platforms like Spotify or Apple Podcast.
Right. That is
I'm
definitely
like I'm like something has to change. At
correct.
that point, I studied so many models that I realized that okay, this space is just booming,
Okay.
and surely there are going to be incredible changes coming forward. But this transition from what the world was back then and what it is going to be like 50 years down the line, well, I would want to be one of those contributors who will actually be one of the people who carved at least one edge of that world.
No,
So
definitely.
so why not? So it just comes to me, and I don't think that the zeal of working in Web3 space is dying anytime soon.
No, definitely. So I actually, agree to you on the very definite rules that how you started was the similar way I started. Okay, because I did not understand the technology behind the finance behind it because of the same engineering background. Okay, and then that fire in us to make things right. Okay, in a good way. Okay, and I guess that is why you are also in the field. Okay, you are also trying to get things right for creators out there, like podcasters out there, and get them what they actually should have earned, right? So with
Absolutely.
that, why don't you tell us about what is actually Aureal? Okay, how and what Aureal has to offer, and if you have anything to present as well, we can talk about that. You can show that as well.
Absolutely. So we started like a year and a half back. While we looked at the podcasting industry, we were like, okay, this is something which we have to do something for this.
Okay.
And we kind of we integrated Hive blockchain, and later on we got to know about so many other frameworks that we can actually have. Now we have the concept of interoperability. So now what Aureal is a multi-chain hypermedia protocol which you can
Mm-hmm.
integrate with any content media platform, which amplifies the value generation for creator-led economies. So it can be audio, it can be video, it can be live. And
Mm-hmm.
we are spread across multiple chains. We are still working on it. But the thing is, what we understood is that I mean, Aureal, the concept of Aureal is very simple. Just like you are scrolling through Instagram, when you
Right.
like something, Instagram does not pay you. But when you come to Aureal, well, if you are doing the same thing on a podcast while you're listening to it, well, the creator is going to be paid, and it's because you are listening, you're contributing through your time and your interactions, you are going to get rewarded for that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now, it's like a win-win situation for both the people, apart from the value that they are getting from the content. But interestingly, we just do not want to limit this to just audio, but we believe that the framework that we have developed is actually making an impact in the podcasting industry, because since the last year we have generated more than $850,000 worth of rewards for the creators,
Oh
and
wow.
and they have generated 100x of whatever they would have generated from traditional media platforms where they're podcasting. There's one interesting thing that we did. We were a team of just two people. Laksh, you just broke away.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's a bad end of connection. No worries. You can continue.
Yeah, yeah. So we just did one thing. We were a team of two people, and we identified that okay, we just have 24 hours, and we are just two people.
Okay.
We cannot, and we have limited information and limited skills. So we were trying to reinvent the wheel. That
Okay.
okay, let's create everything from the scratch, and we were like, okay, it's not really making any sense because we are just awake at night again and again, and nothing is happening. So we realized this that the creators in any space for that matter, any user, any end customer is not gonna give any shit when a platform says that they're built on blockchain or they're a Web3 platform.
Yeah, I actually lost you around. You guys were live for 24 hours in the night. So yeah, we can continue from there.
Yeah, so we are not sleeping at night, and we are creating
Okay.
the recorder, and we are creating everything from the scratch. Instead, what we did is we identified that okay, we have never heard Facebook saying that they use distributed computing. Then why do we have to say that we are built on blockchain and we are a Web3 platform?
Right.
So instead, we did a very simple thing. Now the USP of Aureal is that no matter where you are, you might be on Spotify, you might be on Apple Podcast, you might be hosting a podcast on Anchor or even YouTube for that matter. If you're integrating Aureal with just three simple steps, then every single time when you publish a content, that content will automatically monetize on Aureal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So our value proposition is simple. So what we are doing is we are handling the technicalities and building very efficient frameworks for you,
Right.
where through which you can have your own platform which does the same thing, or you can use our platform where when you upload or when you connect your content to Aureal, you come and you create this podcast just like we are doing this live stream.
Right.
And
Definitely.
by the end of it, before you realizing it, there will be already a crypto portfolio ready for you.
Correct. Correct.
You start the stream, you end the stream, and you have a portfolio right there.
Like
And
basically automatically getting involved in the industry as well.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So now on Aureal, you can host your audio podcast, you can host your video podcast, you can have your live casts basically just like we are going live right now.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, what you do is you are actually monetizing in Hive HBD, which is exchangeable with any currency on the planet,
Okay.
and I mean cryptocurrency.
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, and we just integrated the Lightning node. It's called V for V, value for value.
Okay.
So now what's going to happen is that any listener, when they listen to your podcast on any podcasting 2.0 apps, apart from what you are monetizing from Hive, you will start monetizing in Bitcoin.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That is good.
So
That is great.
it's streaming sats that you're getting, and apparently, if you are spending like an hour on listening to a podcast, well, you as a listener will also get paid back.
Okay.
So it's rewarding the engagement here, and we are having many more things. So we are going multi-chain. So we are connecting with the router lens protocol,
Okay.
and we are having token swaps. I mean, there are multiple things, but basically, it's like just let us handle the technicalities. You do your thing. You just ensure that you're building the best content out there. Don't worry about sponsors. Don't worry about ads. Even if you're not getting any, Oriel is there for you, because when your users, when your audience are interacting with you, well, they are the ones who are valuing you at the end of the day. So
Right.
why not have that value? Why do you want to give that value to the consumer media platforms which are generating billions and billions of dollars from the user generated content?
Right. Right.
Now
So,
it yeah,
Shubham, why do we have like? Why don't you show us like demo or something like that? That will um, make the audience know or get aware about actually about the platform as well.
absolutely. So I'm just gonna share my screen.
Sure.
Yeah. So as you can see it on the screen, this is Oriel.
Okay.
Okay, and these are all the episodes that are getting published every now and then. So yeah, this is a new podcast. I just got to know that okay, there is something called as Beercast, and
Okay.
it's basically a podcast about some people, about some folks who love beer,
Wow.
and just this one episode they published a while back, and in order for me to monetize, help them monetize this content, all I have to do is this, and you'll see an increment in the value, and that is how the user is monetizing.
Nice. That
Okay,
is
so
very good.
I can just listen to it. I mean, I can create playlists out of it, and I can even host my own live space where, just like you're doing it on Twitter Spaces, the only difference
Yeah.
is going to be that when the users are getting engaged, well, you'll start monetizing because of their interactions.
Right. Agreed.
And yeah, it's very simple for you to have your podcast on Aureal. So you just go on hosting, and you just click on start or import podcast. You can either create new podcast or you can migrate the existing one,
Correct. Correct.
and it's just a three-step process. So add your RSS feed, your hosting provider is going to give you that, and basically just click on next.
Hmm.
You'll receive an OTP. Oh shit. you'll receive an OTP on your email ID. Just put your OTP, click on publish for the first episode, and now it's all done. So basically, all the episodes that you're going to publish from now on will be automatically monetized, and
Wow.
all the episodes that you have published so far is also monetizable whenever you want it to be.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now we are currently shifting towards like the thousand super fans concept. So yeah, we are going to drive engagement while the users will receive the SBT tokens and POP tokens as a part of their engagement. Let's say their engagement badges basically. So yeah, basically this is like ecosystem where the creator is getting paid for what they are doing, for what they love, and
Right.
our goal
Right.
is to ensure that while you podcast, this very thing actually becomes your full-time job, because you're putting so much effort into it, and by the end of the day, if the exposure is the only thing that you're getting while you're sharing such interesting information out there, uh, then let people appreciate you, and when they
Hmm.
appreciate you, let you get something out of it.
Okay. Okay. Wow. This is good. This is amazing. So, like, coming back to our
Yeah.
conversation, Shubham, we can stop
Yes.
sharing the screen now. It's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I'll stop sharing my screen.
No worries. No worries. So, accordingly, I'll tell you this. Um, so, what I see as of now is like um, there's a lot of progress that comes into this industry. Okay, with podcasting being there. Okay, and we with basically the creator economy booming with the decentralized social media that is also coming in, correct? Okay, amazing. Okay, coming back to what we were talking about, Shubham. Why don't you tell us how Aureal is actually stepping in towards the decentralized social media genre in the whole blockchain space. Okay,
Hmm.
and as well, what do you think is the future for Aureal in the coming months and in the coming years?
Yeah, so as far as the decentralization is concerned, I mean, we have open sourced the project, and we are currently handling it ourselves. But anything that I mean, even from the revenue model that we have is not decided by us. It is actually decided by the community.
Okay.
So, and all the features that the community is asking is something which we build, and we have a lot of contributors on the platform. And yeah, we're not really thinking in terms of that, okay, this is the kind of content but that we actually need. But it's like it's just open to all, so anybody can come and have their content here, and just invite their audience, and just let them listen to it and just monetize and get the value from
Right.
where I see this is this is going to be like so this is basically going to be the future of social podcasting.
Right.
Okay.
Understood.
So it's how I actually see this is that so during the time of COVID, a lot of people got Zoom fatigue. It's
Okay.
because they wanted to be comfortable at their homes, but yet they are so stiff while sitting on the video call, doing work from home and all. But it's just one simple question. I mean, even if you're talking to a person with whom you even share any kind of intimacy for that matter.
Okay.
So does that conversation majorly happen on video calls, or do they happen on audio calls?
Audio, obviously.
Yeah, it's because when you are listening to the audio, it actually establishes intimacy between the person who is speaking and the person who is listening, and
Right.
that is how that is even why people actually listen to podcasts. Either they learn something new, but while they do, they just know that, okay, this person is telling me this, not
Correct.
like the
Correct.
whole fucking community. But that is one thing, and we are driving more engagement onto these kind of sessions.
Okay.
And sure short, Oriel is going to become the future of social audio and social podcasting, where first, the creators won't really have to worry about how much they're earning, because your audience is actually taking care of that. We are opening more and more ways of monetizing your content, where you can actually take this thing mainstream full time. And the second thing is that, okay, at the end, you see that this model is working, you see that we have done something, but now the thing is you want your own thing. So just
Right.
use our protocol, build your own platform, just add your own content, and just gather your audience there, build your own community, and just enjoy a moment while you're creating the content. Because at the end, when you're putting so much of effort while creating this, you're still, your voice is worth something.
Definitely, it is. It is. It definitely is very important to put out, you know, um, your ideas, your opinions in the form of stories, because stories is what drives community. Okay,
Absolutely.
I definitely believe in that. And if you see, how India has been coming down in terms of knowledge and education, it has been through storytelling only. If you see the Gurukul system, and
Hmm.
what has been going on, so definitely podcasting is something which actually is very essential and a very what to say, a important part of the system, right?
Yeah.
And I really love, Shubham, what you have been, bringing to the table for the industry. It's not only about being specific to Web3 or anything. It's about adding value to every person in the community through whatever means possible, whatever technology possible, right?
Yeah.
And with that, Shubham, what any closing thoughts you have? Anything you would want to say that would you would want as the community to remember on the later half and take a lead from there.
Yeah. So recently I've realized this. So I believe when I mean majority of the people who will be actually looking at this live stream are going to be like founders, right? They
Okay.
must be working on some interesting project, and they'll be like, okay, I have to work hard, I have to work hard, I have to work hard, I have
Right.
to stay awake at night and do this and do that. And just it's just simple, just build and have fun.
Correct.
Okay, because
Correct.
that is something which I have been following. I mean, I recently started this podcast called WTF.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you mentioned that.
Eh,
Please tell us
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, so WTF is actually candid conversations between the fellow founders of what they go through their day-to-day lives, what how they
Yeah.
firefight, and what fucks them up at the end of the day.
Right.
So and we just have fun.
No, no.
We
I.
might have a we might have a beer or we might have something, but it's like, okay, but you know what? I'm a founder. You're a founder. You know what I go through. I know what you go through, and let
Correct.
me give you a solution. But if there is no solution at all, we just laugh it off.
Right. Right.
And that is something which we need. I mean, this whole era of toxic productivity is actually
Correct.
screwing up with our minds, and
It does.
we just wanna enjoy it, we just wanna have fun, because we are building really really interesting things out there.
Definitely. No,
And
no. I totally agree with you, Shubham, on this. Okay, and I
yeah.
am, looking forward to coming to one of your sessions, one of your podcasts. Okay, lots to share, lots of stories to tell. Okay, but definitely, I love
Yeah.
the concept that you guys are working on. And yes, let's have another upbeat podcast with the founders coming up.
Yes, there's one more thing I wanted to add.
Yeah,
So now when you're hosting a Twitter space, you
yeah.
can directly monetize that Twitter space on Aureal, just like you do it for podcasts.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
So just putting it out there, and just in case
No,
if
no, we
somebody
will
is
definitely put it out there.
absolutely. So thank you so much for inviting me here. I
Definitely, same here.
hope my thoughts were fruitful for the community and for you.
No,
Well,
definitely, Shubham. We are,
if they
very
were
glad to
not
have you here.
if they were not, well, the people who feel like that, they can just suck on it. I mean, what do I say?
No, no, no worries. We won't get into what they have to suck or what they don't have to. But coming coming back, thanks, Shubham, for taking your time. Okay, we really loved
Yeah,
having you here and hosting you here. And let's do more sessions. Okay, and
absolutely.
let's get Be the Founder started. Definitely, looking forward to it.
Yes.
Chalo, okay. Thanks, Shubham.
Bye.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.